Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am your host, Chase Bunker. Joining me today, he is the half-Asian sensation. It's Curtis Coe.
Hello, everyone.
He's player 4, because we're going to skip Murph till later. It's Daniel Clegg.
Hello.
And one name to rule them all, it's Murph Murphy.
How's it going, guys? I like how you introduced me but didn't. It's great.
Yes, because...
And
you know, stalling and stuff. Thank you guys very much for joining me on the show, and thank you guys very much for watching. Either you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us via a podcast, thank you very much for making us a part of your day. Guys, we had some stuff go on, but first off, let's go with the nice generic question of what are you guys playing right now? We'll start off with Curtis.
I'm playing a little bit of FTL. I'm trying to, which is Faster Than Light. It's a roguelike spaceship game. I am trying to replace some of my Steam library because I'm a horrible person and don't finish any of my Steam games.
That's everybody with Steam, so don't worry.
So
That's everyone with Steam.
I beat Binding of Isaac for the first time, and I'm continuing to play that as well. And I'm just trying to go through some of kind of my smaller titles and kind of just play through it. So yeah, that's what I'm playing right now.
What game are you most excited to play on your Steam library that you haven't touched yet?
None of them.
All right, cool. Great job. Great contribution.
Because you touched them all?
No, I've played most of mine. The one I guess I am interested in playing again is I really want to get back to this game called Freedom Force. But it's kind of a superhero RPG real-time strategy game. It's pretty cool. But it's really old, so I'm kind of holding that off until I'm feeling a little adventurous.
Yeah.
Freedom Force is not that old.
The mechanics are pretty old.
Okay.
They're getting pretty old on the mechanics side of it.
When did Freedom Force come out?
It can't be more than 3.
Freedom Force?
Freedom Force. I'm thinking Broforce. Sorry.
No.
Oh, wait,
Freedom
that's like
Force.
Freedom Force versus like the Third Reich, right?
No.
I
I have
thinking
the
that wrong?
original. I have the original, and I have Freedom Force and the Third Reich, which is the second game.
Is what I'm seeing.
02 for the original Freedom Force.
Man.
12,
Oh,
13 years
wow.
ago.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a little bit janky, and sometimes you tell someone to go somewhere, and they'll run around the entire city to get to that place. So it's a lot of micromanaging. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to that, but I'm really into superheroes, so it should be fun.
Clegg, what are you playing?
My wife and I have been traveling a lot, so I've had next to no time to do just about anything extensive. But I've been doing the occasional Heroes of the Storm match with you guys, which is pretty good. Loving those new characters that they just announced today. There's some really cool ones looking.
Yeah, was it Artanis and Lieutenant Morales?
Yeah, whatever the StarCraft medic is that character.
I think it's Lieutenant Morales.
StarCraft medic.
Right. StarCraft character is incoming, and that's really exciting. And other than that, Fallout Shelter has really been what I've been spending the most time in, really. I know that game came out with the initial Fallout 4 announcement, right? Like 3 months ago or something, but I only just got into it recently. And it's fun. It keeps me going, 3 or 4 hours a week, just logging in here and there. But, just been really busy recently, so I haven't done anything extensive. I'm still looking to do Batman eventually once I finish Witcher
Once it
3.
starts working.
Just don't have... Well, apparently it's working.
Apparently it
well
is.
now. The reviews on PC have been positive following their big patch. I just haven't had time to jump in there yet. I need to finish Witcher 3. More than anything else because I can't install both games on my computer because it's so large, so I got to finish one, get rid of it, and then put the other one on there. So,
Murph, what are you playing right now?
So right now I'm on that Dark Souls train. Dark Souls 2. I'm going through the DLC. I'm on the third king, if that means anything to Dark Souls players.
I don't think either Curtis or I did the
DLC. No.
The DLC for that game.
I need to though. I've heard it's very good.
I'm really surprised you two haven't, because like how much like you guys love Dark Souls.
It's
like
Clegg and I have never actually played through the Dark Souls 1 DLC actually. So
really,
yeah.
Wow. For me at least, it was a price thing. They wanted to charge us $40.
We already have it. We already have Dark Souls 1.
Well, I'm talking number 2.
Okay.
Number 2. They wanted to charge you like $40 at least for a new version of the game because it wasn't just an expansion pack. It was basically version 2.0 of the game, right?
It's more of a remix, I'd say. Like they've changed some of the enemy placement and made it like kind of more logical and world building. Like it's definitely, and like I mean, it's a graphical upgrade and all that. Like it's like I own both, a PS3 and a PS4 copy, and I'm pretty
really
satisfied.
wow.
Yeah, Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I got it.
I can get behind that because I think I have like 2 copies of both Borderlands 1 and 2, so I can get behind that. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it's a different game. Like the enemy placement is different. Like the DLC, the DLC is included. There's a graphical upgrade. Like, and when I say the enemy placement is different, it's significantly different. Like, and they even play on that. So like some of your expectations are like, oh, there's going to be a guy right here, and you swing and there's like nothing there, and you're like, what happened? And then someone like murders you from behind.
Yeah. Still, to me, everything you just described sounds like a patch. Where they don't spawn at 0.502, they spawn at 0.602, and now that screws you up, right? But that's just a patch difference to me.
For reference as well, just to Murph's point really quick, they did actually patch Dark Souls 2 just regularly, so the placement is different, just for reference.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then like I think if on the PC, you can. They patched it on PC, so the placement is different. But then, if you want the graphical upgrade and like essentially the Game of the Year edition stuff, it's Dark Souls 2 Game of the Year edition, and so that you get the DLC and then there's like a boss as well. Yeah, like it's a good game. Hey, it's Dark Souls 2.
There's new content as well. There are new places, new enemies, new bosses, new items, all that stuff. It's not just graphics and
right. And it's normally I'm not on that remaster train, but like there's enough new stuff here.
Okay.
That it's worth it.
All right,
and
gotcha.
and like I would say definitely the DLCs are worth playing. The first one, I think I liked the third one the most. This first one the second most, and the fire one kind of left me cold just because it is so hard.
I see what you did there.
But you got through it though, which is
I did, but like it was rough. It was real rough.
Right now I'm playing, since you guys kindly asked, I'm playing Ori and the
Chase,
Blind.
what are you playing, buddy?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Clegg. I'm playing Ori and the Blind Forest right now. Like, it was a game that I bought on a Steam sale. Like, I think I bought it in December. And so now I'm like getting around to playing it. The game came out when I did the Kasavan interview, and actually no, never mind. Let me rephrase that. No, I didn't buy it in December because it wasn't even out in December. I think I bought it in this past summer sale, so not as long, but still, I bought it a long time ago. I remember it came out around the Kasavan interview, and he said like he tried it and he loved it, and so I finally got to try it. First off, it's beautiful. Like, oh my, like the art style is just so beautiful, and the character Ori is just beyond adorable. Oh my gosh. Like, if someone sends me if I find like a plush figure of Ori, like I would get that and just like hug and snuggle with it like when I go to sleep, because I'm weird like that. The combat is, it's a little bit basic because it's all just a matter of just you press one button. It's almost like Dust of an Elysian Tale, where you press one button and that's it. But it does have a lot of puzzles. It does have a lot of like really cool features. Like it almost has that like Banjo-Tooie-esque mapping style where like everything is connected, and also like you can't do certain things. Like in the first level, like there's a whole bunch of the first like world, I should say, area, whatever. Like there's a bunch of things that you can't access until like later on in the game, so you have to like backtrack your way through and then get all these things.
It's a Metroidvania.
It's like a Metroid,
yeah, there you go, Metroidvania. Yeah, and so but other than that, it's a lot of fun so far, and it's one of the games I definitely recommend. Also found out this morning, Payday 2 has, I believe it's coming out on Thursday. They're gonna have a new DLC for free, and it's gonna be some FBI files. And so I was happy. I'm like, I need to contact the Payday LA gang. So if any of the Payday LA gangs listening, it's payday time on Thursday. So one more thing I want to ask you guys before we go to this topic. Have any of you guys watched Maze Runner, or any of you watched Scorch Trials?
Hold on. It's old man Murph time. Ugh. I know what Maze Runner is.
Yes.
Kind of. What is Scorch Trials?
Scorch Trials is the sequel to Maze Runner.
Okay.
And it just came out this past weekend.
So after he goes to the maze, he's out of the maze and into the fire.
Pretty much, yes.
Shit. Is that really the time? Is that actually the tagline?
No.
Okay, phew. All right.
I feel like that's one thing we should do. We should like make up taglines for movies.
But the maze was
Lord.
the proverbial frying pan. Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
and so
he's into the fire. Okay.
yeah, and so like after watching
look.
Maze Runner and then watching like girlfriend and I watched like the double feature. They had first Maze Runner and then Scorched Trials, which I never saw the first Maze Runner, so she was excited to watch both again. So the first Maze Runner is like, oh, it's just like this utopian survival, or not utopian survival, but like this, just like this dystopian. Yeah, thank you. Just survival, whatever. This one completely different, like Last of Us feel to it, like pretty much like
it's a survival dystopia.
Yeah. Oh no, like it's like a zombie movie. Like that's why I'm saying it's almost like Last of Us, where it's like,
okay.
yeah. And so like, where did this come from? Like the other one, they're going up against like predator like spiders and everything. It's like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Then you go to zombies. It's like, good lord, these kids are just having like a bad day, pretty much.
And also, I need to just correct for the record. When I go old man Murph, I actually think that a lot of the stuff that kids get today is a lot better than the stuff that we had back in when I was a 90s kid.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was reminded today. Did you guys remember Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue?
No.
No idea what you're called.
So I think this came out in '92. This was all of like Bugs Bunny, Alf, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Winnie the Pooh,
maybe
Muppets, all in one show. What?
All in one show, yeah. And it was an anti-drug, and like it opened with H.W. Bush, and I think Barbara Bush giving like, "Hey kids, don't smoke the pot," and then like it's the story of a kid who like steals some money from his sister. And then, like, he's going to buy drugs, but then, like, oh, Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, like, tries and stops him. Or then, like, Bugs Bunny tries and stops him.
Okay.
Like, who would do that now? Like, what cartoons will stop kids from doing drugs nowadays? It's like...
I got this.
Okay.
It's Adventure Time.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well,
I feel like Adventure Time's like the biggest advocate for doing drugs. I mean, if you looked at, like, half of Cartoon Network's lineup... It's like you have Steven Universe, regular show, Adventure Times. Like I'm pretty sure like this is like
so regular show is definitely is simultaneously like do drugs kids and don't do drugs kids, because like do you want to be like Mordecai and Rigby? Then go to art school and do drugs.
That's pretty much it. It's like let's be honest. Like what art student like hasn't done drugs like ever? Like anytime like anybody in that art school.
I'm a STEM guy, so I don't know.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's one out there.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm sure there's a couple out there.
Speaking of predator spiders, there's like I got to an Ori the Blind Forest. They said, "Oh, we reached this tree, or we reached this area in order to get this seal of water, whatever. We have to go to here, but in order to get there, you have to go through the spider coves." And immediately, I'm just like, "Nope." I'm done. Just
the word spider was uttered. Chase is done.
I'm done. I set the controller down. It's like, have a good night. I'm out of here. But then I looked them up and it's like, oh, okay, they're not creepy. They're just annoying. So I ended up playing it anyways. Curtis, how are the spiders in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep?
Well, that depends on how big of a gun you have.
All right. Yeah,
I don't. To be honest, it's been maybe a year since I played that game.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure. I remember them being more annoying than anything else. But again, I had a really big gun by that point.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what? Speaking of Borderlands DLCs, like I want to ask like this question because let's face it, nothing happened. There actually is a topic that was going to be movie related, but I'm already past that, and I'll somehow wiggle my way to it.
All right.
What was the best intro you've ever like seen in a game?
Ooh.
On the spot.
Intro?
Best intro. You're just like, wow, that's amazing, or wow, that's hysterical.
Can I go with most impressionable rather than the best?
Sure.
Because for me, I will always remember the intro cinematic to Warcraft Orcs and Humans, the original Warcraft game, which I first saw when I was like 8 or something, The graphics were from the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not good. But at the time, it was 3D rendered visuals of a game. It was incredible. And sometimes I still go back and watch those really old Blizzard cinematics just because it got me immersed in that universe, you know?
I mean, let's face it, Burning Crusade trailer is probably one of the greatest trailers out there.
Sure, yeah.
definitely
The
a good
World of
one.
Warcraft ones were fantastic, but like the old ones, Warcraft, Orcs and Humans, Warcraft 2, those were really, really.
Yeah.
Those stayed with me for a long
I
time.
wish like the StarCraft trailers sucked just so it's like I wouldn't feel bad for not playing it.
Oh, that new one though is so
I know,
good.
the new one looks so good. It's like, too bad I'm never gonna play this game because I'm just god awful at RTSs that aren't Civilization. Then I'm like, nah. Murph, you got one?
Come back to me. I there's something on the tip of my brain, and I'm wheedling it out.
All right, Jet, do you have one?
I need some time like Murph. I'm trying to.
All right.
Okay. So,
I could talk about mine if.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well,
yeah.
I think to me because my roommate's playing the Handsome Collection of Borderlands 2. I think one of the best intros ever, and I think Curtis, you got to witness it, was the DLC for Mr. Torque's Campaign of Carnage. Like that whole intro, like as soon as you get into the badass crater of badassitude, and you have like the voice of Mr. Satan, just or Hercule for American Dragon Ball Z fans.
Yeah.
Just like going like this muscle-filled like boring, like how he just jumps right on in. It's like, you need to go to badass crater of badassitude for real true badasses. It's like when he just goes on that that tirade, it was hysterical. And then like, you just need to sign the waiver so you can go and play in the badass crater of badassitude. And then you sign the waiver, and the waiver explodes. And it's like, perfect. That's probably the best way to start any game. Is some like jacked prop, most likely like drink steroids every day, like guy tell me about how to be a badass. I think it's like the most swearing I've ever done in an episode, mind you. And has a waiver just explode in my face. Like I thought it was just straight brilliant. So
You know, you just
I
reminded
think it was
me
a
of.
really good
what's
one.
that?
You just reminded me of Cave Johnson from Portal 2.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
another good one.
That's
Or
not
just
not an intro technically, but that's a narration.
Yeah.
Right? That's just hilarious and chock full of so much
oh my
humor.
gosh.
Oscar
I
award
actually-
winning J.K. Simmons.
Do you want to go, Murph?
I got one. That's,
Okay, go ahead.
So this one, mine is it's not quite as explosion ready. But have you guys played the Stanley Parable demo?
I never
No,
played the
not.
demo. I just played
It's-
the original game.
So did you like the original game?
I thought it was all right. Like I thought it's funny, but it's like one of those like.
So the demo is completely actually is like a kind of its own little separate game, and
Okay.
it's like significant. Like it's really weird, hard to describe. And okay, so spoilers for the Stanley Parable demo.
Is there spoilers really for the Stanley Parable?
Yes.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So
Huh.
when you click start, nothing seems to happen, and you're like, what's going on here? And then you like wait a bit, and then I move the mouse, and then you're like, oh, I'm just staring at a texture that is the screen of like the new game, continue, load, all that. So you actually have
Okay.
to move. Yeah,
So they actually like you could have technically started all along. You just
right. Yeah.
Okay, that's
And then-
clever.
And then it's all yeah. So Stanley Parable is great. Demo is great because like you go through like here at the Stanley Parable demo, we honor the famous demos of whatever, and there's like plaques on the wall of like other famous demos, like the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo. I think is one that's called out.
That's funny.
Yeah, like so it's like the demo is worth playing because it's like there's no content that that overlaps. I guess it's very weird, but it yeah.
Nice.
You know, and that's kind of funny because it's also kind of making fun of itself at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
right?
like,
With the
it's-
demos and
I mean that's the whole part of Stanley Parable. It's an incredibly meta game.
it's true.
I hurt my voice doing.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I hurt my
Alright.
voice a little bit. It's not a bad Torque impression, but it's just like I need to work on it better so it doesn't like.
It doesn't kill your throat.
Yes.
Oh, you there, Curtis?
So I have an interesting one. I was thinking about it, and I kept on coming back to Bethesda games because they kind of do this whole cinematic thing where you're kind of looking around at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that kind of struck me right off the bat was Fallout 3. I don't know if you remember, but you're a baby in Fallout 3 in the beginning of Fallout
And
3.
Liam Neeson's our father.
Exactly. And then they're like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And I'm thinking in my head, well, you should be able to tell. I mean, you're holding me, and I'm obviously a baby right now.
It's like Professor Oak's. Like,
But-
are you a boy or a girl? And it's like, I'm like 8. Like, I'm pretty sure you should know this by now.
The best thing about Professor Oak, though, is like, what's
He
my
doesn't know his
grandson's
name?
Yes.
Look, I mean,
This
look,
is my grandson.
he's a
What's his name?
Pokemon scientist, not a kid scientist. Come on.
Oh,
But-
Arspace. That's definitely your name.
Yes, my grandfather's a retired Marine, but he still somehow knows my name and doesn't
Yeah,
think it's like he remembers his chants too. So
Look, how many Pokemon does he know?
he doesn't know
That's a good
0.
question.
Yeah, okay. Professor Oaks knows all the Pokemon, so I guess 1 point for him,
He had
0
to
points
cut
for your grandpa.
somewhere to fit all the Pokemon in, right? So something had to go.
Something had to.
Like,
All
there's
right.
151 of them. Like, that's a lot.
That is a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah. We could do another round of Pokemon next week.
Ah,
Oh,
man.
God.
All right. Anyways, you said Fallout 3. That's
yeah, no, I like that intro because it really gets you immersed into the game and kind of what life is like underground and kind of how everybody reacts to you and how you're kind of going to go out in this world and do stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good intro to a game.
all right. All right. Cool. Well, we had a great topic. I like it. All right. Moving on to the movie topic that I was. Speaking of like opening cinematics, movie segue. It has been rumored. I don't think it has been confirmed yet that they are going to make a live-action Akira movie directed by Christopher Nolan. Guys, can you actually like the real topic at hand? Christopher Nolan, great director, but can he actually make an anime movie that's live action good? We'll start it off with Clegg.
Well, I mean, we know that Christopher Nolan has no experience bringing a comic book character in a dark and gritty universe.
No, he
to the
doesn't.
big
Not at
screen.
all.
None at all. So we should just throw him out the door. No, I think he can do it. Yeah, honestly, there's not all that much anime ridiculousness in Akira until the
Oh.
end.
Okay,
Until
all
the
right.
end.
Oh,
cool,
I'm
cool.
Right?
calling you
Yeah.
out.
Hold on.
The
Do you have a red
ending
challenge flag
is-
on you right now? Toss
I
it.
have
Ending
several.
is one of the weirdest things you will
That's
ever
true.
see visually.
I've never
right?
No.
I never watched Akira. I hear it's good and I need to watch it, but
Well, I'll tell you,
Hold
Chase. It involves like Cthulhu tentacles and
okay,
monsters
it's an
growing
anime.
out of a
I
person.
knew there was gonna be
So-
tentacles.
So I don't want to be this guy, but I'm gonna be that guy.
All
I
right.
am
okay.
too. If you're not
Have-
gonna do it,
Are you? You want to say it with me?
Uh,
Have you read the manga? Because
That's another question because I know the movie, the movie is way different from the manga.
well, the movie. So basically, the events of the movie happen in the manga, more or less. But then there's that's like book 1.
Yeah, then there's
And
way more.
Then
right?
then there's like 10 more books after that, and it just goes. It escalates from there.
So I have not seen or read the manga. I have seen the movie many times. So that's what I'm going off of here.
Mm.
And really, if he's gonna make a trilogy of movies, like the rumor is saying, at least the first one doesn't seem that difficult to make. Because the weirdest thing, and that is psychic people and bicycle or motorcycle gang warfare. Visually, like we're talking about
Yeah.
the difficulty in
Mhm.
representing what happens in the books on the big screen. There's not all that craziness to develop, right? It's the
Oh.
third movie. It's the later movie where you got to see universe spawning demigods coming out of a person, right? Like
Right.
there's weird stuff happening there.
Well, and here's the problem. I'm gonna say like Akira is a pretty gross movie animated. Like, I don't think I want to see that realistically portrayed. Like like if it's it would have to be like either over the top ridiculous like a trauma film, but even then I'm not like really interested in trauma films.
Yeah, neither am I.
But-
I really feel there's a way to do it without being quite as gross because some of that stuff is very superfluous.
Good use of
I
words.
I know that Akira is very much body horror and it's that kind of stuff, but there's some parts of it that like when he gets the tentacles and stuff like that. Is that really a necessary part of the story? And that's the part where I kind of question.
I feel like there's a different way to visually represent
What's
your
happening.
mental acuity outgrowing your physical form, right?
Yeah,
Which
but
is
I
basically
mean,
what's happening.
I mean that's a set piece of that movie. When you say Akira, you think about the guy with the pill on that cool
It's true.
motorcycle, and then a giant flesh mass
Right.
rising out of Neo
true.
Tokyo.
All right.
Like you can't make a movie without a giant flesh mass rising out of Neo Tokyo.
All right, but here's the thing.
I guess that's true.
I'm gonna throw this out there. Dragon Ball Evolution, Aeon Flux, The Last Airbender. Those are probably 3 of the worst movies of all time. All live action animes.
Well, the other issue is that none of those movies had a name like Christopher Nolan attached to it. To be honest,
Airbender was M. Night
I mean,
Shyamalan.
but he was already.
Shyamalan, he's
I
big.
believe that was after he already done The Happening.
Yeah.
Yes, it was already
So
done.
I mean,
but
we
he was.
kinda
I mean,
knew
he did
was
Sixth
kinda on
Sense.
a-
He did Sixth Sense, so he can kind of
did-
coast on that for like years.
He did 3 movies, and I'm pretty sure this was after Lady in the Water and The Happening, and so nobody was really convinced that this is a
But I mean,
great choice.
Have you like Avatar: The Last Airbender? Like I watched 5 minutes of a fight scene of that. I was like, ooh, no, I'm sorry. Like,
Apparently, they're making a sequel to this as well.
It's only rumor. He wants to do it, but the reports have been coming out of Paramount that they want him nothing to do with anything related to that property.
But
So-
I'm trying to think if there's any other like anime live action movies.
Attack on Titan. There's a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
in
apparently
Japan.
Attack on Titan
Oh yeah,
is a bunch of bad.
Japan.
Apparently they've been rumored as bad.
There's also Attack on Titan. There's Lupin the Third, which is also really bad, even though they had a bunch of really good actors attached to
Who is
that.
in Lupin the Third?
It's
it's
an anime about like
No,
a
I know,
master thief.
like I know the anime because I love the anime.
He's a famous Japanese actor.
Oh, okay, so it's all
That's-
Japanese then. Okay.
Yeah, most of them are Japanese. Not
Okay.
a lot in America. Ghost in the Shell's been kind of rocking around for a bit.
Yeah, like
yeah,
that's
with,
apparently going to be coming
Scarlett
out, but it's also
Johansson, I
not.
think.
Yeah.
But like, here's the biggest thing I have to say. Especially with Akira, one of the biggest issues you're going to run into is, especially if it's a Christopher Nolan film. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, it's almost better to say it's not in Tokyo. These are white kids, because that's who they're going to cast in it. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
granted,
true.
Ken
I'd
Watanabe
assumed
might
that was
be in
gonna
it.
happen anyway.
Ken Watanabe might be in it just because of the fact that like Christopher Nolan loves using the same actors and everything. So let's not be
Absolutely.
surprised if Leo's in it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh God, this
Michael
is-
Caine. I'm already casting for
I
Akira. I
need
don't
a-
even know
need a
anybody
first
that's in
time. I
it.
can- Oh God, this is.
But
oh.
actually, Ken Watanabe would be perfect for a role in that movie.
Okay.
To be honest, there's a sergeant character, I think, kind of a bigger burly guy that kind of is more the voice of reason in this movie, if I remember correctly, or the show. He's like,
I
he's
know the
head
character.
of a research firm. He's kind of more of the little bit.
Maybe
You know-
Bern Gorman
yeah.
might be in it as well.
I think that's supposed to be the American stand-in. Which
Well,
is
yeah, but I
ironic.
mean, like, how awesome would that be? Instead of American stand, it's a Japanese stand.
But then everyone else is.
But then
oh,
it's just going to be like, oh, Christopher Nolan's a racist because he casted an all-white cast.
right.
And it's like,
Unless he changes parts of it, which I think is the right thing to do. If you're still paying homage to it, and you're changing certain aspects of it, I find that less distracting than a bunch of white kids running around with Japanese names.
oh,
I will
yeah,
give you that.
Right, which is what they did in Dragon Ball Z. And let's look at another movie, the most recent Godzilla reboot.
Oh,
was
God,
set
that was so. You mean
at-
angry Marine?
Yeah, right.
And it's
It
going to
was a
send us
decent
back to
movie,
the
though.
Stone
It
Age.
wasn't a horrible movie. I
I
enjoyed
enjoyed it.
What?
I
I
enjoyed it.
Godzilla was on screen for 5 minutes at most.
It did
And
the
those
Cloverfield
5
thing.
minutes were great.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
But I had to sit through 2 hours to see 5 minutes of Godzilla, and most of the time, it's Godzilla. You don't need to. I know what he looks like. You're not by obscuring him in smoke. You're not adding to the mystery.
It's supposed to like.
True.
Granted, yeah, Godzilla put on a little weight, but he was also in America at that time, so I don't blame him on that. But it's the
Okay,
fact that
but
like
the point I'm making with this movie analogy
Okay.
is that you can cast American actors or white actors in a very Japanese movie, right? It's all
Mhm.
Japanese material, but you pull it over to the American audience, and the movie did very well.
I'm just saying.
But that's a little bit different. That's like a
saying
perfect
every time-
example. Go ahead, Murph.
I was gonna say every time America gets the Godzilla movie, it's terrible. I'm looking at you, Matthew
This-
Perry.
This is
Broderick,
much bit-
different.
Broderick.
You leave Chandler Bing out of this.
My point is, it would be like what's an anime you like? Clegg. Give me an anime, any anime you remember that's...
Cowboy Bebop. I'm just gonna answer that question for
yeah,
you.
That's a really good one, actually.
Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, that's a bad example because they all have white people names. Give me one that actually has an Asian.
Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Let's pretend they're making a good movie.
Let's pretend they're making a Dragon Ball Z, and you have the whitest person you could ever think of playing Yamcha.
Kirk Cameron.
Yes.
Kirk Cameron as
Or let's go with like Ryan Felipe or whatever his name is, one of the whitest looking guys you could possibly think of as playing Goku. Or, anybody whose name doesn't quite match. A good example would be Ghost in the Shell with, what is the girl's name? I can't remember.
Scarlett
Johansson.
No, it's like Kurosagi, I think is the name of the character's name, but like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like throwing...
So the one thing about with Ghost in the Shell, and I'm not saying they should cast it with an all white cast, but you could at least.
Gosh, we sound like such
kind of
racists with this.
No, what?
I know where Murph is going here.
Okay.
Because it's a world where you can download your body or your whatever into a new body. So like, okay, that you could. Hey, maybe you could have a bunch of different actresses in that movie. That would be cool.
Play that same character, that would actually make a lot of sense. Maybe she was originally, a Japanese girl, but now she looks like a black lady, right?
There's actually a really interesting theory about that she's actually a guy.
I believe that.
Yeah.
What's funny, like when you said picture Ryan Phillippe, I think that's how you pronounce it, as Yamcha, and I immediately thought Channing Tatum would have been Tien. And then I started like making this cast like in my head of the all really white Dragon Ball Z.
Can I throw one in here?
Yes.
You guys are gonna all immediately see it. Robert Duvall as Master Roshi.
Yes, I can see that.
Robert Duvall.
I can see that.
DBW.
I was gonna say
Dragon
him
Ball
or
W.
Robert Patrick maybe, but I think I like Robert Duvall better.
Robert Duvall, he kind of has that mustache thing going, it just makes it a little bit longer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, who would play Vegeta?
That's the real question.
That's the real
like
question.
The most important.
I don't care about who plays Goku. I want to know who plays Vegeta.
He has to get mad really well. No. He could be Piccolo. Because Piccolo is the black man of that universe.
That is essentially true. Hold on, I don't have my hood on yet. Before we make this argument.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a couple. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, we should stop.
Hold on, Murph. One sentence review of this topic right now.
Oof.
All right, thank you.
Oof.
All right, we got 13 minutes left. Let's do some Name That Game. Curtis has a medium to high. For those of you who don't know, we're going to play a game called Name That Game. We have 20 questions. We go round robin at first, up to 10, and then it is a free-for-all at that point. Curtis.
At this point, I'm just going to let you guys get all 20 questions in a free form. Because I think sometimes some people can't think of it, and they end up handing the questions over to other people anyway.
All right.
So, 20 questions. Go ahead, and let's start with Clegg.
Is this a game that's come out in the last 5 years?
Originally, no.
Originally, so
possibly a re-release.
It's possibly a re-release.
Okay.
Murph, do you have anything?
Is this a game that involves? Is it a fantasy game?
Can you be more specific on what you're defining about fantasy?
Swords and sorcery?
No.
Did this game come out? Would you want to say? You want to try to guess in maybe 64 PlayStation era?
You can try and find the console. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did this game come out on the PlayStation N64 era?
Yeah. Originally, yes.
Originally, yes. Okay.
PlayStation
and
64.
Pointing this out for a reason that will be explained after you guys guess it.
Okay, it originally came out that time. It could be a re-release, or it just could be a sequel, or like a franchise.
Originally, this game did come out in that era of game.
I've got a good idea for this already.
Go ahead, Murph.
Does this game involve zombies?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's Resident Evil.
Yeah, like
it is
which
Evil.
one is it? Yeah.
Wow!
It's the original Resident Evil. That was good.
Man, that was. I really thought that was going to take a little bit longer.
That was 6 questions. Hey, if you guys want another one, I can do another one. But
can you do another one?
I can do another one.
Are you guys up for another one? We have 11 minutes.
Sure.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. Let me know when you're ready, Curtis.
I am ready.
All right. Cool. Clegg started off. No, Clegg's cat started off.
What do you think, Hero? Yeah. Okay.
Great input.
Is this? Is this part of a franchise?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Murph, you got one?
Was this game released on was this game released before or on the N64 PlayStation era?
I can't answer that question because you didn't answer it yes or no. Did you say before? You said before.
I said before.
Did the
You
game
said
come
before.
out before?
I said before or on.
on. So N64 down, did
Yeah,
it come
basically-
out then?
Yeah. Yes, it did.
Okay, so N64 PlayStation inclusive.
Okay.
Or
Correct.
earlier?
Yeah.
or
Correct.
Okay. I'm almost want to guess if it's either Genesis or Super Nintendo.
Is it Resident Evil?
That would have been really funny if I did that.
Did this game come out on the Genesis or Super Nintendo consoles?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, so it's much older.
Yes, this is
Okay.
fairly old.
Is this a platformer?
No.
Is this an RPG?
No.
Ooh, I was about to guess if it was Secret of Mana. Okay, so
Too
That's more
obscure.
of
I
an
wouldn't
action
have-
RPG. Aha.
That's a little too obscure for.
Secret of Mana is not obscure.
Just Clegg, do you
objection.
know what Secret of Mana is?
okay,
That's
too
what I'm
obscure.
basing it on.
Clegg's our litmus test of like how
I
obscure
know, like
game
if
titles
Clegg
are.
doesn't know it, then I would assume that it's not as well known. I know it is a well known RPG, but anyway.
Like
sorry.
next time, like
Sorry.
Clegg brings up an indie game, it's like, oh wow, you know that game? It's like
Well,
when your
that's okay.
parents
I-
like
I
reference
don't
like
do many of the indie stuff.
it's like when your parents like reference like a rap song or something. Like, how do you know that?
Well, yeah, never mind.
To the windows and the walls, Mom? What?
Oh wow!
Oh,
Weird.
Wow!
Ugh.
Clegg. Oh, quote of the night. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so it's not a platformer, so it's not any of the Mario games or Sonic games. It's
Not an RPG.
is it a racing game?
No.
I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like F-Zero or Mario
what-
Kart.
What? Yeah, what is?
What other games came out on the Sega and Super
That wasn't
Nintendo?
a
Yeah.
platform. That wasn't
I
a
mean, the
platform.
shooters weren't a
Oh.
thing.
Is it a puzzle game?
No.
So it's not Tetris or Tetris Attack.
Okay, is it a?
Wait a minute. I wonder if it's like Pilot Wings and he's
adventure
just
game?
like, what's
Is it a what?
Action adventure game.
Not normally associated as that. No.
So
Okay.
was it released on multiple consoles?
No.
Oh, so it's an exclusive.
And it came out on Sega or Super Nintendo. And it's not Duck Hunt. I'm
Is
almost.
this a sports game?
By the way, you are on.
Yeah, it must be a
9.
sports.
It is
must
not
be
a
a-
sports game.
What?
You are
What
at
are there
10
not?
now.
What else do we have here, guys?
So it's not
Okay.
Mario. It can't be Mario because it's not. It's Mario's a platformer.
I think we've ruled out just about all Nintendo titles.
It's not.
Hold on.
Wait, what is it? A oh, would beat 'em up ever be considered as like an action adventure game?
I would consider it as an action.
Okay, so it's not a beat 'em up. So it's nothing
It
like
is not a beat 'em
Battletoads or Teenage Mutant Ninja
Correct.
Turtles or
Correct.
Final
I
Fight.
would
Is it a-
consider those-
Is it a light gun game?
No.
No, is it a fighting game?
No. You
Oh
are
my
now at 12.
What the Smurf? Okay, so it can't be a musical game like
That was not a
Guitar
bad
Hero because
there weren't any music
there
games
wasn't
back then.
any back then. It's
Or
not a
was
fighting
there?
game. Don't do that to me because you know I'm try to get in my head. Okay, so it's not a platformer, so it can't be Mario, Sonic, Vector Man, or any of
Is it
those.
is it a first person shooter?
No.
They didn't have those back then.
Doom,
Yeah, there was no Doom. Doom was out on the
Doom, and parts of Jurassic Park.
It was first person? Really?
Yep. Parts of Jurassic Park were first person. Like the whole kitchen scene you got to do in first person. It's really cool. And it also pissed off my mom because my mom thought my dad rented Doom again.
I think Wolfenstein as well.
Did they make a Wolfenstein?
Ooh, I don't know if Wolfenstein was out on.
Ooh.
I think-
Oh.
yeah.
Ooh, wait. What would we consider Star Fox?
That's a rail
a-
shooter.
A rail shooter. Okay.
It could be-
Is this? Let's try to get scene or time period.
Okay.
Maybe is this a science fiction game?
Yes.
Okay.
Animals in space, science fiction.
Could be. Did it have the Turbo FX chip?
Yes.
Is it a Star Wars game?
It's Star Fox.
Wait,
It is Star Fox.
I was right! I was bloody right again! It's 2!
You got that on the 16th question. You guys
I mean,
are
it was either
got
that
it
or
over.
Stunt Racers FX.
Mm-hmm.
You already said Racers, though. It
I
was,
know. I
It
was
was
saying,
not a
well,
racing
with,
game.
I mean, but with the Turbo
Yeah.
graphics.
Yeah.
All right.
Or not? What is it? What was that chip?
It's
I just-
Turbo FX. I'm looking at this.
Is
thing.
it Turbo
Oh,
F-
Super FX?
Yeah, I thought it was it.
Super,
Super
FX. Oh, yeah,
FX.
sorry.
Hey, and speaking of Star Fox, I'm disappointed / relieved that they are postponing the new StarCraft until next year. I'm disappointed because there's no other Nintendo stuff to get this year other than Yarn Yoshi, right?
Yeah.
I'm relieved because it wasn't looking very good.
Wait, you said
You know-
StarCraft, so you mean Star Fox?
Star
Star-
Fox.
I'm sorry, Star Fox,
Okay.
the new one, Star Fox Zero, has been delayed until next year.
Yeah.
I want to get Mario Maker just because like I want to try to create like the dickish levels and also try out like everybody else's dickish levels as well. Like seeing other people try it, like it's a lot of creativity in there. Like
So, I love because I'm me. There's people are already making like the quote unquote walking simulator style levels, like in like spelling out narratives and coins. Like my wife left me, or like will you kill your son? And there's like Yoshi, and the only way to get past it is a P block, but then Yoshi falls in the lava. Like
Oh, that's horrible.
wow. Oh my god. I saw one, it's not like that, but it was
oh, it's so great.
you were on a giant floating piranha plant and you have to it's in the Super Mario World realm, so you have to spin jump and you'll jump on top of it. However, on this rail there's also stars and you have to avoid the stars because if you get it, you kill the piranha plant and you die.
Oh,
That's
There's a lot of-
interesting.
There's a lot of neat stuff coming
Yeah.
out of Mario.
I know
Yeah.
Ross O'Donovan, Rubber Ross from the Game Grumps and Steam Train, he did one where you have to bring the spring pad with you to certain areas and you have to like always bring it with you, and it was like kind of cool, like it's like a companion cube but companion spring. So
I'm not super excited about Mario Maker as a game, but I like what it could possibly do for Nintendo games.
yeah,
Because they have not traditionally allowed for map editors or game
What I want is
community-driven game creation.
Yeah.
on
what I want
their
is
titles.
I want Zelda Maker. I want
That-
Metroid
exactly.
Maker. I want
Metroid Maker would take
all,
hours.
all of their main titles. I want
Oh.
that maker, right? Community-driven dungeons would be fantastic.
Mario Kart. It would work really
Mario
well in
Kart
Mario
levels?
Kart.
Ooh, that would be
Right,
nice.
That'd be awesome. Absolutely. Map
Mario
editors
Party.
for Nintendo stuff.
Mario Party. Not so much.
Just a thought. Make your own mini game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, I know it's a little more complicated, but I mean, it would be interesting. Like if it's just like a jumping puzzle. they'd
How to
go
Ruin
for it.
Friendships, the making game.
Yeah.
That's already Mario Party.
Yeah. For the
You know
creation
what would
game.
be interesting is if they somehow allowed this separate game-making game, right?
Mhm.
Mario Maker is a game that they've released that you purchase separately from anything else.
Yeah.
You can then plug that into maybe a variety of games. If there's another Mario Maker or another Mario game, maybe you can plug a level into that thing coming up.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
All right.
if there's a Zelda game, I can plug my dungeon into that game, and maybe the one after that. Who knows?
All right.
There's a lot of cool possibilities.
There's a lot of cool possibilities. We might talk a bit about that tomorrow. Who knows? Teaser. Thank you guys very much for watching or listening. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on a podcast, thank you for making us a part of your day. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/thatnewshowshow. You can follow me on Twitter @ChaseBunker. You can follow the show on Twitter @that_game_show. You can follow Murph on Twitter as well @DorkNightShow. Curtis on Twitter @JetBlack710, even though he doesn't use it ever. Clegg doesn't have
I
a Twitter.
plugged in for the first time.
Yes, you
ever.
did.
Do the tweeter.
Yes. Clegg doesn't have a Twitter yet, but that's okay. He'll probably get one as soon as he plays an indie game. What else is
Yeah,
there?
that's about right.
I think I got everything. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to all of our videos as well. If you want to check out that sports show, go right ahead. But since you're watching a video game show, you probably don't like sport, but that's okay.
Sports ball.
Other than that, Curtis, did I forget anything?
I can't think.
I
of
know
anything,
I'm
but
great at just promoting stuff. Clegg, did I forget anything?
I think you're good, buddy.
Murph, did I forget anything?
Nope.
All right, cool. Thank you guys very much for watching. I've been Chase Bunker, and you have, for Curtis Coe, Daniel Clegg, and Murph Murphy. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.